Hello everyone, and welcome to Path of Exile 2. We had the update this weekend on Friday, and I've been playing the game ever since Friday. I didn't have too much time to play yesterday, but right now I'm basically halfway through or almost done with currently Act 4. And overall, I have been having a good time experimenting with a different character that I played the first time around. I didn't enjoy the end game too much, but I was quite fond of the campaign, of the difficulty it brings, and the new overall mechanics that it brings to the world of Path of Exile. So this time around, I want to talk about the Stormweaver character that I'm playing. Kind of a wild magic spellcaster, let's say. Wild magic, not really something that you can truly do in Path of Exile currently. For anyone that doesn't know, it's kind of this concept where you throw an ability, but you don't really know what the result will be. In this case, I relate to it because the elements, I'm mix and matching three elements, trying to apply all elements using the new system of Remnants, the Elemental Weakness Curse, and the Frostbomb, which applies triple exposure. So we can do things like shock, electrocute, ignite, and then chill and freeze enemies, which is pretty good for the most part. Now, this takes the shape during Act 1 for the most part of basically doing a Spark build, which, it's bread and butter for the start of a Sorceress. We're doing Sorceress Stormweaver. And it's basically Spark, Orb of Storm, and Frostbomb. And the rest of the setup, the way that I built the character further on, I'll go into details a little bit further. So there were certain points of struggle during the campaign. Specifically, I would say, well, this fight was a little bit tough, but Viper Napuazzi definitely was a very low point. I was about to re-roll, and then I decided, to push a little bit further because it's kind of my fault, right? I'm not doing the most optimal setup. I'm not following the build guide of the people that played the last two patches that know more than I do of this game at the moment. But is the way I like to play the game. A disclaimer I want to make is that this is by no means a build guide. My intention with this is not for you to follow, but for you to look at this, see if this is something that is interesting, and not to copy, but to see what you can take out of this setup, and to make yours better, or to see what you can do with my setup and to make it better. So this is the period of experimentation that we're all a part of at this point in time in the game. I think this is very exciting. Not really coming in blind without the path of building, without the passage tree all figured out. We have the opportunity right now to create this character, see how they feel, instead of doing the whole planning and looking at the numbers and seeing that they're not the way that you want them to be. You just go ahead, you play the character, and you feel for it. I think that has some magic on its own, and this is something that we can get at this point in time in the game. So I'm all for it, and hopefully you are too. So let's get to the setup. So we are an Sorceress Stormweaver. Initially, I started following, for the most part, Anime Princess setup on Spark. So the pathing is very similar to what he had planned. But, I started to deviate to the plan because I didn't really want to wait too long to play around with the whole Remnant stuff. And that definitely made me suffer a little bit up until I got this ascendancy. I think was much better. This one actually is the other way around. So yeah, this is pretty good. This one's kind of, out there. It's not the worst, but I don't think it's that great. Or maybe it is. I haven't really played without it or tweaked a little bit with the ascendancy. I just basically did this right. I just saw here Infusions and went for everything that was highlighted with it. There's some remnant things here. I played around with these two nodes early. Probably I had very, very little remnant generation itself, and I had very little in terms of mana and energy shield, so it didn't feel very good, but this is probably something to consider later on. Now, these were a lot better. So this is 10% chance for you to not consume the remnant when you use the skill. I've seen this proc very frequently to the point where you want to get rid of some of the remnants, but you can't because it continues to proc. And this one is 24%, it's 54% increased spell damage here, so pretty good. Might as well just grab it while you're there. And the big thing is that we went all the way here to grab Elemental Equilibrium and then maximum of all infusions. So the reason I want all 3 infusions is because I'm doing Firestorm, which can consume all of them. Obviously, we're doing triple elements, so grabbing all of these makes a lot of sense. We're always doing all of these elements. We have Elementals Extra Cold, and Spark consumes cold infusions to get additional cold damage. Then it has a base lightning damage, which shocks, and then we were doing Flame Wall for a little while, but I got kind of bored of pressing so many buttons all the time, so I just decided to change it with Firestorm, which the build still, but that is something that you will notice with most Stormweaver setups, is that you have to press a lot of buttons. You have to press at least 2, and maybe even more for to clear stuff around. So it's kind of button intensive, but I think that is more the norm in PoE 2 than the exception. So I don't think that's something that will be very alien to you if you have played this game for a while. Me coming from PoE 1, to me it still feels a little bit odd, but I'm kind of getting used to it already, right? Or I will have to if I want to play this game for a while. Now, that is for the passive tree. I'm just gonna do another hover. The main thing here, I just grabbed this. I don't know how good this is, but the main thing that I wanted to do was this path here, these 2 points. I wanted to get more ailment buildup, and I wanted to get infusion duration and infusion pickup radius. Then I went straight here to grab this wheel, increase damage per type of elemental element of the enemy. This is pretty much insane because you can get, you not only count the 3 basic ones, but stuff like Electrocute is also an additional one that you can get. So this is basically at base is 60% increased spell damage, which is is very good for I think for the travel is quite good. And then I grabbed initially this wheel here, 10% chance to not remove the remnants. Then I rushed all the way here to grab Elemental Equilibrium, and then to grab infusion limits. Then I also grabbed this because I think I came here, I did this, then I grabbed this and the extra mana, and then I waited for the Elemental Equilibrium. And only at this point where I had Elemental Equilibrium is that I felt that playing Firestorm was kind of viable, or it felt a lot better than it did before when I didn't really have much fire infusion generation. Now, let's get to the skill setup. So, these are the weapon skills. I'm not using... I can use Sigil of Power, but I choose not to because I don't like standing still at the moment. I don't have the defenses for it. That's the build right now is kind of squishy. So for Spark, I'm doing a 3-link with Rapid Casting, Rising Tempest, and Projectile Acceleration. This is 40% chance to pierce. I feel the clear is kind of weak in this build at the moment, and that is something that I will test around once I have access to many more support skill gems and many more skill gems. Actually, I will have the option to test different clear setup, but right now the clear is kind of bad with trash mobs being a meme, taking a lot of damage to be able to kill. Then I just recently added Eye of Winter as sort of this, like, another button to press in while I'm like waiting for the cooldown of Firestorm, waiting for stuff to fall into place to get the Remnants. It's decent damage. It's not huge, or at least it doesn't feel huge yet. It feels okay, I would say. Now Siphon Elements, I think this one gave some level of comfort to the build, because this gives me more fire infusion generation, and then it increases the amount of cold infusions that I'm getting. So because the problem is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, I couldn't find any cold infusion generation outside of Frostbomb, and Frostbomb has kind of a long cooldown, and it's not only the long cooldown, but you have to wait for it to like explode. So in that time, you're just waiting for the infusion to drop. Now the good thing is that right now we do this, so it will explode after a certain delay. Then we can grab the infusion, and then after a certain point, the infusion will be again here on the ground. Right now, it seems to be bugged, but if I consume this, I can come here and or I could if it was working here, because I think this is just a non-combat zone, so it doesn't work. But essentially, what you would get here, well, we're doing elemental equilibrium, so there's the cold infusion. I can spend, let's do this, then I grab that. Then after 3 seconds, the infusion reappears and you can grab it again. And that kind of gives you a little bit more uptime on the infusions on your characters. So what we're doing here for supports is Harmonic Remnants. I want to get the level 2 Harmonic Remnants, and then get Remnant Potency. This is an interesting support, so it adds a delay to the Remnants that get produced, but it gives them increased effect. So what I understand from increased effect of the Remnant is that, and sorry if I'm mispronouncing that word, it's kind of not something that I'm very used to pronouncing, but for instance, this Cold Infuse says that it gives 78 to 117 cold damage. So what I would understand from that is that I would grab this number and get a 30% increase. I would probably also grab the number of projectiles and increase that as well. That is something that has to be tested. I will do that at some point once I kind of reach the end game and I'm going into a little bit more of min-maxing. Now, the next skill is Mana Tempest with Efficiency. This is very standard. You stand here, you get more projectiles, you get damage extra based on the mana cost of your skill, and then at some point you start just losing all your mana, and you have to move before that because the enemies, you don't want to stand still too long in these games. So I use it every now and then, but it's not a super core part of my rotation just yet. It will be at some point, most likely. Now Frostbomb is quite core part of the rotation. So what I have is cooldown recovery 1, potent exposure, and harmonic remnants 2, which gives a chance to create an additional remnant, and you can collect it from 100 further away. So this is, you'll see how far we can get it from. There you go, from there. And I have to get a little bit further, and there is the second one. We can get it again. There you go. So it's very good. I think that the more we get of that mod, the more comfort I think the build will have. Now elemental weakness with hidden curse, magnified area, and arctic armor. Arctic armor I have it with clarity and vitality. Arctic armor I think is very good. Melee attackers, you know, tend to stun you, so you instead freeze them when they attack you. And this is the kind of your big cooldown that you use is Firestorm. Firestorm is linked with Rising Tempest because I think, and we can do this test live, I believe because this skill is triple elemental, the moment I press this skill, I'm already getting the bonus of Rising Tempest. Now that is what I get only by pressing Firestorm. Now I can test. I know for sure it works with elemental weakness. So yeah, it kinda seems to be working. That's probably due to, you know, like Zenith and stuff, other snapshots that are going on. But regardless, that is basically the skill setup. Now, during a single target scenario, what you want to do is, if the boss is like talking and stuff, you want to like cast these abilities so you can start the fight with already some remnants. As you can see, they last quite a long time. They last almost half a minute. So while the interfaces are going, I can have these already preloaded. Then as soon as the enemy becomes vulnerable, I can do I would usually just curse the area, put these spell around, then put both of the orbs, then put the frost one, then throw the firestorm, and then start spamming spark and, you know, moving around. And that is how I would do it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think about the setup, what you think about the PoE2 patch for the time being. I'll leave you with some other like gameplay of the build. Thank you very much for watching, and, you know, if you like this video, feel free to leave a like. If you don't like it, let me know what I can do to improve it. And thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Inferno! Power makes believers of us all. Kinfolk do not share power, it seems. I'm carrying enough already. Not yet!
Metal. Rise, warriors of Namahu. Mahu smiles upon your strength.
Emaraketh earns her blessings, one trial at a time.
Mahu is the mother of fire. She lends it to us in life, but here, in death, we return it to Hinikora. We exist now to give our wisdom to our descendants, until we are all returned to the volcano. When the world is forged anew, a new line of Karui will emerge to conquer a savage world. Until then, we linger here, in the halls of the dead.
None may enter this chamber. The prisoner within is beyond death, beyond force of arms. He must be left to rot for all time. Emperor Chittis Perandus.
This was not built to keep people out, but to keep something in. Whatever is down here, they left to drown like vermin.
You traitor! Where are you?
Not this Exile, but I am your doom.
Now you will die! Running scared.
I need more time.
You cannot wound
I
me.
must pull the lever.
I cannot die. You don't have what it takes.
Not yet.
Of flesh and blood.
I need more time. I need more time. Now, what is weak?
I cannot die. Centuries drowning, and you think this will stop me?
Not yet.
You're only making me stronger. Are you?
Inferno! I need more time.
Now you will die!
Not yet.
Pathetic! Coward! You cannot wound
I
me.
must pull the lever.
I cannot die. You don't have what it takes.
Not yet. Not yet.
This body is my prison.
I can't do that yet.
Not even Azaro's
No, what is
best could kill me.
Not yet.
Centuries drowning, and you think this will stop me? This was
Do that
inevitable.
yet. Time to end it. I need more time. Damn it! Too soon!